crises are recurring events in human history, whereas some crises are rather minor, others, such as the current corona pandemic, majorly impact the whole society and the way we work. Lives are threatened, and leaders have a responsibility to be there for their followers. It is the action of a leader during a crisis that defines a great leader. What leaders have to realize is that when a crisis hits, you can't just rest on your laurels and think that everything will move along normally. Normally, a leader can base his judgment on available information, previous experience and gut feeling. However, a crisis, and especially the corona crisis, is characterized by uncertainty, where rarely information is available, and nobody has experienced it before. In a crisis, employees have a desire for a strong leadership, like a rock in stormy waters, or a safe haven. Followers need a leader to demonstrate trust, compassion, stability, and hope in such uncertain times. Already, without a crisis, trust is key in leadership. It is tightly connected to performance, and those leaders who understand the importance of trust will be able to increase their leadership potential. Especially during a crisis, trust becomes even more important. Leaders should make it to a key priority now to focus on their employees' feelings and listen to their problems themselves. Great leaders care about their employees as people first and workers second. They might also want to invest more time in building relationships. And if you now think bonding does not work when you can't see anyone in person, well, then you are kind of right. Bonding indeed is most effective through in-person interaction. But luckily, also video calls can already help in bonding. Here are some easy to follow ideas on how to bond with employees. And remember, small acts of kindness don't necessarily have to cost anything. Make time available to have, for example, a well-being chat. Show that you care for your employee's situation. And share the wins of team members within the whole team. Scale moments of recognition and say thank you with an individual text message or with a small present. For example, a leader can send a small well-being present to the employees, like PwC did in March. Or just be a little extra creative and invite an alpaca to your next team call to keep the team spirit up. By following these little tips, a leader will notice that the employees' well-being will increase.
Welcome to our first ever virtual communications talk. I'm pleased to announce that we are going to have Mr. Professor Müller as our guest today. Welcome, Professor Müller, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to share my insights in times when they are needed more than ever before.
Well then, let's dive right in. You have researched the topic of virtual leadership for quite some time, especially with a focus on communications. In times that are so uncertain like these, with a global pandemic raging around in the world, what would you tell businesses, tell universities, organizations in general that are currently struggling with what's going on out there?
Thank you for this question. Well, first of all, our communication needs to be based on the information we currently have and needs to be used to gather more information to act accordingly. Olafson describes this in his framework in 2014 already. To do this successfully, we need to be aware of the potential biases in our information gathering and the following communication. Those are normal human tendencies, but harmful in uncertain times because we must rely on this information more than before.
So, how do we communicate correctly? Is there one single rule that everyone should follow?
There certainly isn't the one golden path, but research such as Bevel et al. Has shown that certain traits in messages are more persuasive. emphasize benefits to the recipient, align with their moral values, and appeal to social consensus, for example. So, what does this mean for organizations, you might ask? Argentine outlined a 5-step approach to successful communication. First, use centralized communication. Most businesses already have a corporate communications team. Use it to have transparent, cohesive, regular flow of information. Second, communicate with your employees. Let them know what is happening and why. Third, communicate with your customers. Tell them the most important information, be empathetic, and share good news. Fourth, reassure stakeholders. Communicate challenges, but also mitigation efforts, and reinforce long-term fundamentals. And fifth, last but not least, be proactive with communities. Provide resources to challenge communities, information, and transparency. Remember, we are all in this together, and people know we are. So do good.
That certainly doesn't sound as desperate as other news these days. So, are you saying we are going to get through this?
Yes, of course we will get through this. And according to Olafsson, after the crisis, we should focus on what went well, recognize the effort that was put into managing the situation, and highlight the team. It's a team effort after all. We are all pulling on one string to make this happen. But while we're in it, Nembert, Burns and Shortall tell us it's important to stay humble and put people first. They will recognize your effort. They will recognize you being human, even as an organization.
Thank you so much, Professor Müller, for all these insights. I hope you have a pleasant day.
It's been a pleasure. Stay healthy, wear your mask, and all will be well. Thank you.